Fun fact I learned this week. This is going to blow your mind.
Can't wait.
Did you know that an entire regulation NBA basketball court fits in the penalty box?
I did know that because I have seen that.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that. That's new to me.
That is
The whole thing.
Yeah,
whole
because
thing.
people talk about how athletic of when they compare how athletic certain sports are, and they mention that a basketball court is incredibly small when it comes to a soccer field.
Crazy. That's a wacky fact. Brought to you by the Cooligans. Also, brings me to my next point. Bro, our soccer pitch is too big, dude.
Maybe we should get them a little bit closer.
Yeah, dog.
You know what? Maybe NYCFC and Yankee Stadium had it right the whole time. You know what? They were trying to get it as tiny as possible.
That's what I'm saying.
If the pitch can fit inside a what's his name in a Sun celebration,
Yeah.
you know I think that's
Don't
the
ever bring up a Tottenham player on the show again.
Youngman Sun. Anyway, hello everybody.
It's the Cooligans, buddy.
We are out here in a good mood. Both of us are.
Bruh, things are looking up for both Christian and Alexis' teams right now.
Exactly.
You can tell by the not approved by everyone on the show Everton scarf over my head of all heads.
How'd that get there? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cooligans. My name is Christian Polanco.
Hey, I'm Alexis Guerrero.
Yes, we are in a good mood, even though the world is not. Because
it's probably only going to get worse.
It's only getting worse.
Feel good about today.
We're trying to. You know what? This is what I appreciated of Christina Hutchinson of Guys We F'd, a very popular show. She had said this about comedy and comedians and compared us to the musicians, the band that was playing as the Titanic was sinking. It's like the entertainment has to go on.
We have to keep going.
We have to keep going. And there was something, I don't know.
Do you think they needed that band playing as the Titanic?
Definitely.
Do you think anyone screaming, running by, going, no! Wait, I think I know this one. That's a good song.
That's my song. It slaps, bro. I'm throwing my child into
6, 7, 8
into a raft.
As a wife and child are getting on the raft first.
But there was something, I don't know. It
just looking over the edge,
it
made
me feel.
I think that woman's got a lot more room on that door. That blonde guy. She doesn't have to let go of Jack.
But yes, as the comedians in the footy space, we try to bring some of that levity and positivity.
We're trying.
We're trying our best.
We hope you're enjoying it.
Okay, let's start. We have a big show today because we're going to be joined a little bit later by our homie Shawn Francis, who is someone who we should have had on the show probably years ago.
How the hell is this the first time this man is on the show?
I don't know how he evaded us or how he just it didn't come up. But I was texting him recently and I was just like, bro, do the show. Why haven't you done the show?
Yeah.
And so Shawn Francis is, you may recognize him on Twitter as the Offside Rules, but
which was an OG pod to our pod.
Exactly. Just an OG kind of American soccer account and person who has been involved in the game and growing the game for a really, really long time.
He's one of those people that you see around a lot and you're like, how you make money, bro? Wow, who do you know? What do you do?
It's just Tommy from Martin, bro. Like, you ain't got no job.
You ain't got no job, man. He is very much a mover and shaker. Well, moving while not moving or shaking.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an important person to know.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking to him about some of the history of American soccer and the content creation around American soccer at a very early time. So we'll get to that in a bit. But we have to talk about what's been happening in the Premier League title race, the relegation race. You call it a race? A relegation race? No.
Race to the bottom?
Race to the bottom?
Relegation fight.
Yeah, relegation battle.
Okay. Because both of our teams had very notable results in both the ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Everton battling to stay up after dealing with the points deductions. Arsenal just not wanting to deal with the bottle job accusations.
Yeah, we beat the allegations, bro. We're trying to beat the allegations.
So we'll start with Arsenal played Chelsea, a 5-0 victory. Wow, what a game!
Mike, how'd you feel about it, boss?
Yeah, I was afraid you guys were going to ask me about this.
Yeah, we'll shut your mic if you start to spin this as a positive.
No. Pochettino needs to go. He's clearly clearly way out of his depth. We are Cole Palmer FC. It's become clearly evident over the past, I don't know what you want to call it, month, 2 months. He's our best player. And now without him, we know that he's our only player. And Chelsea's just in shambles. I don't think it's going to be a quick fix. I don't think Poch is the right guy. I think you need to fire him and bring in someone who is more tactically adept, is a better winner.
I don't know, because he had the history.
First half didn't look bad.
It was 1-0. The first half wasn't bad. But what does Poch say to the team when they're going over, what are we going to do against Arsenal? Okay, look, they like to crowd the front, so I'm going to need this back four to really solidify and fight. My front three, I'm going to need you guys to really get out there and spread the pitch and try to go after him. Midfield, do whatever you want.
Have a good time out there.
Buddy, here's what I suggest you do. Run into each other a couple times. Huh? Let's really confuse them this way. This is just such a...
the player who looked really, really bad, even though Chelsea were very, very poor, but Nicholas Jackson,
I'm sorry, Nico Jackson. You ain't for real.
I feel he's like, at what point do we start to feel bad? It's like the criticism is obviously fair. He had that 1v1 with Raya and decides to go near post for some reason, and then just it goes outside of the net.
The entire far post.
The entire far post, and it's like, why not go to the larger part that you have that is more open?
He's trying to play chess when they're like, bro, we're asking you to play checkers, bro. You really ain't got to be doing all that.
Four,
yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Fam, too much strategy is involved. You're playing Hungry Hippo. Hit the paddle. Just hit the goddamn paddle.
Just really, really hard and fast.
Please, that's all I'm asking you to do.
It works. It doesn't seem like it might work, but it works. It's a good strategy.
Stop slamming the paddle with your forehead. That's gotta hurt.
It looks bad when this man just a couple days ago was fighting with his teammates to take a penalty.
Bro, I actually think that's what broke him as a human being. Now that I think about it, the man hasn't been able to get a shot on target since.
He's like, bro, I deserve it. I'm a baller, bro.
Yeah.
Give me the rock.
Yo, the only way I can score is if it's put on the spot. And I'm not asked to do too much.
It's genuinely embarrassing, bro. We can't score goals. And like that, but this has been like a multi-year thing now with Chelsea where it's just they create some chances. The defense, they were obviously terrible against Arsenal, but the defense overall this season hasn't been the worst. We cannot find the back of the net no matter what. And I don't understand why. It's different players. We've had Lukaku.
Hold on. You also just humiliated Everton the other day 6-0. So it's not...
Again, Cole Palmer FC. Cole Palmer
is doing great. Yeah.
Chelsea didn't really do
and
that.
we got to talk about what that did to Everton, that match. Because I feel like your juju was passed.
Yeah,
in the sixth goal. It's like, that picture of all the world leaders at the time putting their hand on the orb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what happened when the ball was picked out of the net for the sixth goal. There was a passing of the torch. But when I look at this team, I think I can't imagine how anyone on that back line got a five score, higher than 5.
Atrocious.
That was Badia Shield.
Had the 5.
I don't think Badia Shield
5.1.
played that much better than Cucurella. You know what I mean? This was just bad. Disasi, I think, had some moments, but overall, I think Caicedo at one moment he's like on the right half space around the box, and he sends a horrific cross, and even I'm like, well, he doesn't want to be up there. How did he end up there? What this tells you, and you mentioned all the players, Lukaku and whatnot, it feels to me like since, Fernando Torres, Chelsea hasn't had a Diego Costa. Okay, fair. It hasn't had
but you're right. Apart from him, we've had no one.
No striker that's played to the level that expected of them until Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
And to sit there and say, we're not Cole Palmer FC, bro, you're known as a club, not you, Pochettino. You're known for ruining strikers. And now you got one. And you yourself want to ruin this man? It makes no sense.
Cole Palmer is not a striker. He's a midfielder.
He's their goal scorer.
He's their goal scorer. Yeah.
This season.
Yeah. It just feels.
I think he's still in the lead, or
look,
he was tied for the lead.
I'm not gonna. I can't hold. Look, the players' effort in this game, especially in that second half, I don't exactly know what happened. I think the issues with Chelsea, we've been talking about them essentially since Todd Bowley took over the team. And it really does feel like the issues are much more systemic and much more top top down. The even just again the players that they have on the pitch. Nico Jackson, with all due respect to him, I don't know where he came from. I don't know what the exactly. Villarreal. Okay, so the
But he was last year. This was the same thing that people said about him last year. He doesn't score enough goals. He makes great runs. He draws defenders to the wrong place. But he only had, I think it was like 4 or 5 goals through the first like 28 games of the season, and he scored a bunch at the end, and his tally ended up being like 15, so it didn't look so bad.
Right.
But it's just like he's not a prolific goal scorer.
No.
And that's exactly what Chelsea needs.
Yeah. They look like a team with not. Maybe it is on Pochettino. Maybe it is.
All of their issues are final third. There's other
The
issues.
midfield isn't strong.
I don't
No,
know.
but they get the ball forward.
Yeah, we do.
They can
We
get
do.
to the box.
Yeah.
They just, and they're like, once they're there, they're like, hey, did you know this is what a basketball is? And they're just like, stop talking about that.
Maybe it's also the injuries. Not having Chilwell. I mean, Chilwell played in the game late, but he's not.
And Kunku is the big one that we've been missing. Almost
Exactly.
the entire
And then
The biggest is
why am I
Reece,
forgetting his
bro.
name?
No, I mean
Reece. Yeah.
Reece, yeah, but like at this, I think on it, like don't get me wrong. It hurts me to say I love Reece James. Thank you. I don't think many Chelsea fans would be sad to see him
Because
go.
he just
doesn't play.
He's
He
injured.
literally
He's injured
has-
way
If he
too much,
wasn't
yeah.
injury prone, again,
yeah,
huge
he'd be
if.
incredible.
Yeah.
He's huge, and he's also really good at advancing the ball beyond. He's good at stopping, and he's good at advancing the ball forward,
He's great
which
at
gives
crossing.
space to your midfielder, something that Enzo desperately needs.
And Enzo they just announced that he's getting, I guess, a season-ending
Yeah, he's been hurt.
surgery
Yeah.
because of a herniated disc. So it sounds like
Very painful,
he's
by
been
the way.
playing with an injury for all this time. And look, and I think it sort of shows because the Chelsea midfield is getting eaten alive most of the time. So there's a big. I just like again. I didn't think Everton should have lost 6-0 to Chelsea, and definitely Chelsea should not be losing 5-0 to Arsenal. There was just something in that second.
one seems a bit more realistic than the Everton-Chelsea result.
I think Chelsea and Everton are closer together than Chelsea and Arsenal are closer together.
Yeah.
if that makes
Okay,
any
that's
sense.
interesting.
I also think
don't
Everton
fully
is
agree.
defensively stout enough to not get mollywopped 6-0.
Right.
And I think Arsenal have had issues scoring goals as of late, so you wouldn't have expected them to go and just absolutely body.
The second Havertz goal, the one that hit the post and went in, which is a great goal, and there was a little bit of like all the defenders and even Petrovic were like frozen of like, we don't know what foot he's gonna hit with.
Yeah.
We don't know when he's gonna actually stop the ball.
Right. You don't even know if he's going to get a shot on target. 'Cause he honestly is that erratic sometimes.
Yeah, but this is this is the game that it sort of felt like, even though Havertz has had a fairly decent season, he's had some
11 goals?
some bad misses this year.
Click on his name. I think he's got 11 goals now. I mean, that's huge. And this is his former club. If you click player profile, it'll pop up. This is his former club.
Yeah, 11 goals this season. Yeah,
He celebrated on Chelsea.
Yeah. That
He
was
did the knee slide.
so there was no love lost. It was just
Definitely not.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm happy to be out of there.
Yeah. Don't even remember her, bro. I don't know what my life was like.
But this felt like one of those games where he's rebranding. He's changing
He downloaded the upgrade. The update.
And Arsenal fans, they're just like, nah, like, yo, I always mess with Kai Havertz since day one, bro.
We never questioned it.
Because even when he got signed, people were like, oh, I don't know, why are we bringing him?
You will say, I don't know if you remember, I've been high on him from the beginning.
Okay.
I was all about it. I do think that the way, if you notice where on the chart where he sort of plays, left back, a little crazy, but I know he does that for the national team. Center midfield is what I think he was brought in for.
But he's been playing as a striker, really.
I think even
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta was surprised when they saw how good he was up top, because the one thing about him is, since he does like to just sort of walk into open space, which dangerous if it's a dog. Good if it's a midfielder / forward. If you like to sort of walk into open spaces, what he's done is he's opened up everyone else. In particular, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard has the most passes or shot creations in the league by a long shot. This dude is absolutely just like every time that Havertz is playing, and Havertz and Odegaard sort of does that move he does where he gets the ball from whoever's on the wing and probably being double teamed if it's Saka, or if in that moment maybe Ben White ran up and he sort of slides over. He's like, oh, I could shoot. But then again, all of a sudden, here comes Havertz making a slight movement that draws the defender out.
Yeah.
And
He's very
gives him-
subtle. He's very subtle.
He is so subtle, and that's why it upsets me sometimes in the group chats that I'm in, where they're like, "Oh, he doesn't get the stats of someone who's." And again, I'm like, "Bro, you're thinking of Football Manager. You're not thinking of the game.
But
the guy opens up the space so other people can get stats, and that is worth so much."
I think it does. I just think the problem with Kai Havertz, and especially at the end of his time with Chelsea, is because he is just kind of wandering around. It looks effortless, and so when he does something amazing and it looks effortless, you're like, "Whoa, this kid's incredible." But when he's not performing well and it looks like he's not even trying, that really frustrates fans, players.
But that's the stuff
coaches.
that
But even when he's trying really hard, he also looks like he's not really trying.
that's
You know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying. That's what I'm saying.
he also looks like he forgot where he was.
Right.
I'm in the middle of the game. That's kind of the look on his face.
Yeah, he's a little bit like almost indifferent.
Yeah.
To
And I'm not
playing.
comparing the players, but remember they would say the same thing about Ozil. They're like, bro, he's not even trying. He's not running.
Yeah.
Messi, he's not even running. But when the play is needed, you're like, oh, they happen to be standing in the right spot. Oddly enough.
Or send the perfect pass. Whatever.
Or, when it goes bad, you're just like, I told you he wasn't even running, because, especially in England, they got to see you put in an effort.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, if you're not putting in a
Put in a
shift.
shift.
Yes. If you're not putting in a shift, those fans will freak out.
So but a huge win that now puts
What's the goal differential at?
Oh, I mean,
For Arsenal?
for Arsenal, it is.
Because that is a point.
I'll put up the table in a second, but the
Yeah.
You could just click table.
the
Plus 56.
Sheesh.
They have a better goal differential than City by 12 right now.
yeah. So
Let's
they're
go.
doing all right when it comes to scoring goals. Which is also they've just scored so many goals, and it's just wild that City has 2 games in hand and still has a very strong opportunity to still win the title.
You know what? I mean,
But-
we're 77 points. Arsenal is 77 points. Manchester City at 73. So that's a gap of 4 with 2 matches. I honestly believe I treat it as we're still in second. Like, you know how Luton, their table doesn't have the points deductions on it because they're like, I'm not even focusing on
sure,
that.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is we're still in second because of those games in hand.
Got it.
You can't look at it and say, especially with the North London derby coming up on Sunday, you can't look at that and say it's ours. What you
not
can say, though, is that City, they have a chance to potentially drop points.
Yeah, they and
Someone in my group chat put they're going to drop points at least 1. And the way this man was roasted, because there's no way to just drop a point.
I've seen. I think they were on some game during the commentary when Arsenal, Liverpool, and City all played on the same day. They were like, "You want to play first." That's out of in any scenario, you want to be the one sort of leading and putting the pressure on the other team. So now there's a little bit of pressure on City to win these games. They're not a given that they're going to win the games, even though
they're going to play Brighton, which have only lost twice at home this season.
Right. People, I know City is City, but they have, slipped up from time to time, especially early on this season.
It's tough to feel confident in any way, shape, or form because they won a treble last season, and you're like, that kind of battle tested.
So the other team that is in the title race, Liverpool,
Was.
Did you hear the chant after the game? It said, "You lost the league at Goodison Park."
Oh, yeah?
You lost the league at Goodison Park. So shout out to Everton Football Club for winning. For defeating Liverpool at Goodison Park for the first time in 14 years.
Do you know who scored the last time they won?
Yes.
Mikel Arteta.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, no. The last time they won at Anfield.
No. This was the last time they beat Liverpool at Goodison Park. Tim Cahill and Mikel Arteta at 2-0.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. I just referenced a pundit and a manager, a now not so young manager.
The last time Everton defeated Liverpool was during the COVID lockdown when there were no fans. And the scores in that game were, of course, Richarlison and, you guessed it, Gylfi Sigurdsson. All right. Anyway, but no, a huge...
I wonder if he hung out with Diddy.
we gotta celebrate, bro. Okay.
No, this victory, not Gylfi.
Not Gylfi. No,
you need to add a pause or something in that, a little hezzy in there.
Shout out to Toffee TV for this shirt. I'm rocking the Evertonia shirt. Love to see it. But no, what a tremendous victory. I mean, there's a lot of people I think that can be celebrated in this game. I think Sean Dyche played the game perfectly.
Okay. Can I tell you the moment where Sean Dyche changed Everton's season.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
There was a 6-0 loss.
Yes.
Horrific. Next match, who did you guys play? Who did
Burnley.
Everton? Okay, Burnley. You had a big win there.
Yeah, 2-0. 1-0, 2-0, something like that.
There was a difference. There was a difference on the sideline. And you know what it was? Sean Dyche wearing a tracksuit.
Yes. Well, it's not even a tracksuit. He's wearing the
training tracksuit.
the training top.
Yeah, but he's
just-
wearing like workout pants. It looks like a tracksuit.
Yeah.
He's not wearing the, the angry insurance salesman suit. He's relaxed.
Right.
About as relaxed as you can look.
I was gonna say Sean Dyche doesn't look relaxed.
He never
but,
looks relaxed, but
He's a man who shaves his head and is not bald. So there's something. He's
Wait,
not. Sean Dyche can grow hair.
No.
No way.
There's no way this man grows hair.
Look at his hair. He has a hairline. We're looking at Sean Dyche. That's a full-haired man.
We need to do full psychoanalysis on this man.
That's okay.
Maybe he's got the bald spot in the back.
No, bro. I don't think so.
Maybe it's just thin, and that's why he shaves it.
Possibly.
That doesn't look that thin.
That's not a bald man.
No, I know. I'm looking at a picture.
He's a self-balding man.
It's the Jim Norton. Jim Norton also a guy who shaves his head.
Terrible hairline though.
Not bald.
Terrible
but
hairline.
he has very, very thin hair. So it looks like he's a sick kid.
Yeah.
When he lets his hair grow out.
What does he look like? A muscle man with the shaved head? The guy looks like a sick kid.
Just say
24/7.
Sean Dyche is when you're optionally bald, it says something about you. It's not a hairstyle, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's next level commitment. He's saying, I don't want the 17 seconds it takes me to do my hair.
There was some player who said that that grew a beautiful head of hair. I must have seen it on Ben Foster's podcast or something. He was like, I shaved my head to intimidate the opponent.
Oh, that's the guy from Celtic.
Okay.
Because they were shocked because he had a shaved head his whole career. They were shocked when he showed up and he had a full head of hair.
Right.
And he's like, I've always had hair.
It's like seeing Robbie Keane now. Not Robbie Keane, Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Roy Keane is just
Roy Keane
beautiful
also-
hair, but
also
when you
with the
watch him
same
play,
thing.
man, look like a little scary.
But even in this photo that we have that you pulled up with him with hair, which again has completely confused me, he's wearing a shirt and tie. He changed that.
he did.
Over
He
the
did.
last 2 matches. And what were the results of the last 2 matches?
Victories.
2 victories. 2 clean sheets.
Oh, I got to correct.
You said Burnley. It was Nottingham.
It was Nottingham, but the game previous to the Chelsea loss was against Burnley.
Yeah,
Apologies.
but he specifically said he needed to make a change.
Yeah.
And the players have said they noticed the difference when he showed up in a tracksuit. They were like, it galvanized the team. I'm paraphrasing, but they knew something was going on.
Yeah.
And look at how the season has changed.
It's quite stark.
He saved Everton from their first ever relegation.
We're not there just yet, but we're pretty close, right? Everton are 4 games. There 4 games left in the Premier League season. They're sitting on 33 points after already having been deducted 8 points, which is, again, given these performances, Everton it doesn't look as bad of a season as it sort of feels.
You're 8 points ahead of Luton in 18th.
Yes, which
is the drop zone.
right.
So you would have to assume, unless the players are like, oh, we good now, we don't have to try anymore, that they're going to be able to survive. Who are the next remaining matches?
The next matches
For Everton.
Yeah, we'll look those up right now. What are the next ones? Next
Got
up,
Brentford, Luton, Sheffield, and Arsenal. So those are 3 massive matches in a row. Brentford. Luton, and
Sheffield should be a win. I mean, Sheffield are going to be relegated probably by the next game if they're not already. But no, I wanted Everton. Great. I want to talk about this game in particular and just Liverpool basically getting their title chances thrown out the window.
Embarrassed.
I don't know if it's embarrassing.
No, it is. It is embarrassing because you're the team that comes back after the 75th minute and you couldn't find any other gear.
This was a game where I praising Sean Dyche. I thought he tactically handled it well. I thought
What
Jordan Pickford.
Same thing they always do.
Well, that's the thing. Even Jurgen Klopp after the game, he was like, especially after the first goal, they're like, we knew what Everton was going to do. We knew how they were going to play, but they couldn't figure it out. And it took a lot of, like, obviously the defending was remarkable. Jordan Pickford. I mean, some people also, we talk about Nico Jackson, but Darwin Nunez another guy
Terrible
had
performance.
unbelievable opportunities.
Don't let Virgil van Dijk off the hook though, because he couldn't get his head on anything, bro.
But that's what they were
You guys
highlighting.
were winning all the aerial battles.
That's
You
what they were
winning
highlighting
everything.
that in the game, that Everton, especially in the first I think 6 or 7 set pieces, that they were getting to every first ball, and the goals led. That's what led to the goals. It was just, but Jared Branthwaite,
He's never struck a ball at a goal in his life. This man had no clue what to do.
Did he get credit for that goal? Because
he did
Okay.
because
As much as Dominic Calvert-Lewin tried.
Well, the way Branthwaite went over to celebrate, I was like, dude, you saw that didn't go in, right? And he was just like, oh.
but
It crossed the line just
Yeah,
before.
just before Dominic Calvert-Lewin literally threw his entire body and life.
Risked the rest of his
He
career.
threw his soul at
Yeah.
that ball. He's like, this has to go in.
Yo, freebie, bro. I want that stat.
Okay, my man was gonna throw every limb at it.
Hey,
He
yo.
would have swung his dick if he
Yo,
could, bro.
facts. I'm surprised he didn't push the keeper into it.
This ball is going in no matter what. And this was I thought John Branthwaite, in this game in particular, is making a case for, I think I said this the other day. I'm like, I don't think John Branthwaite will be at Everton very long, because eventually they're going to sell him, and they need the money and they need the profit. But he is arguably getting to, look, it sounds a little crazy, but fighting for kind of one of the best English center backs in the country.
The only reason I might disagree is he looked really bad when given the opportunity. Not really bad, but he didn't look up to the level of expected when he got the opportunity with England.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about simply in the league, absolutely incredible.
He's looking great.
And he looks like he has a future. Obviously, there's a little bit of it's tough to tell how good of a center back you are when you're on the back foot so often,
Right.
like the way that Sean Dyche wants to play.
Well, I would disagree with that. I would say it is best to see how good of a center back you are when you are on the back foot that often and you have to defend. It's why
Right, but
Jordan Pickford is the number 1 for England, because he plays on a team where he is constantly getting pelted with shots.
Here's the problem, though. Like, can you trust Jordan Pickford on the national team when you know they're going to have the majority of possession and they're going to be up high, and you kind of have to sit and wait for a large majority of the match and then be able to spring into attack? And if you're Jordan Braithwaite, can you hug that halfway line?
Sure.
Can you do those things?
And
That's
I
not
think-
really being asked
I
of
think
you
he
at
can.
Everton.
I think he's great on the ball. He's good with both feet, and the dude's a unit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, big boy.
he's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
And held his own, fighting for in set pieces against Virgil van Dijk, against Konate.
And I actually think that, I don't want to call it a failed debut or a failed opportunity with the national team, but not the best game you could have asked for. That some people were suggesting maybe he's out of the conversation of the Euros.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure he was ever in it, but the opportunity to show up and show off, he really didn't take that. I actually think that's made him better. I think that's made him sort of focus.
Yeah. I look.
I'm just guessing.
Just a great game, man. Just a solid performance and defensive
Let's say
performance
you're
from
saved.
Everton. Yeah.
Let's say Everton is saved. Do you want Sean Dyche back as your manager next year?
I think a first derby win at home in 14 years.
But you saw the game.
Bro, bring Sean Dyche to Chelsea. What are we doing here?
Is it
I'd
long
take him.
term? Probably not. But this is what I'll say. I think
If you didn't have the points deduction, where would you be on the table?
like 14th or 15th, something like that.
Still not great.
Not great, but still, I mean, for a team with all the financial issues and mismanagement that Everton have
Three
been
managers ago, I think it was 3 managers ago. Who was your manager?
through, 3 managers ago,
Which might have been 4 weeks ago.
was it who's the manager at Fulham?
Marco Silva.
Was it Silva?
No,
Or was it Carlo?
I think it's Carlo Ancelotti.
3 ago?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it's Carlo Ancelotti.
List of Everton managers.
Yo, think about that.
Yeah.
Carlo Ancelotti. The
Yeah,
guy
but
who's...
James Rodriguez played for our club, bro.
Yeah. What a wild time. You really came in at a really cursed moment.
All right, if you don't count Big Dunk, then Carlo was 3 ago.
Yeah, he
But
was a
4
caretaker.
ago.
Yeah.
So think about where you were. No disrespect to Sean Dyche, but I think we would all agree it's kind of it's more of a League One style of game because I think even Championship has moved
Yeah,
on.
League Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a well-known. I love the French tactics.
Would love to see Sean Dyche ordering food in Nantes. I would love.
I love it. Yeah.
I'd pay to be there. I would pay to be.
I watch on BN Sport all the time.
100%,
Yeah, it's a
dude.
great league.
Oh my God! When Luis Enrique goes back to Barca in 2 years, PSG will bring in Shawn Dyche.
Okay, he's a perfect fit.
Parlez-vous, Francais?
Bro, my man is fluent.
Yeah. No one says romance language like the voice of Shawn Dyche.
So I think the look it is the style of this is what he has brought. He has brought a sense of
But okay, Everton
Stability.
wanted to be exactly.
Yeah.
You wanted stability. You wanted to settle. You got that now. If you survive, you can't open the new stadium with the 4-4-2 low block. Bento and
I
Dominic
agree.
Calvert-Lewin
And I think-
running like Bambis.
I think once Everton sort out their financial issues, the new stadium, maybe new owners, new investment, and
With new owners, usually
with the
come new
players that
managers.
Everton has right now, I say Shawn Dyche, you keep him for if this is going to be the situation where you can't really bring in. We're still fielding Andre Gomez out there, bro.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
out there. His FIFA card has like 12 pace, bro.
Yeah.
And he's still doing what he has to do. But we cannot replace players. There's no money. So if this is going to be the situation, then Shawn Dyche has to be the manager. That is feeling. There is at least some stability, some sense of like, okay, the players believe to go from that 6-0
He certainly
loss.
got them playing. Yeah, he got
To
them
go from
playing.
that 6-0 loss to a win like this is tremendous.
2 clean sheets in a row.
2 clean sheets in a row. That's huge. So the players have some sense of belief, and I loved even the decisions of like sitting Amadou Onana, right? He's like been one of the better players for Everton, but there are some times he just doesn't fit. He doesn't maybe make the right decision defensively. He can end up coming in this game, but there's something to. Look, let's find the right sort of. Even Jack Harrison getting benched for like 3-4 games because he wasn't doing that well. And even in this game, he got an 8.5 rating on FotMob. But Jack Harrison, who we love and adore, he's the absolute homie. But there's something even to his game that concerns me within Everton, where it's like he's great on 1v1, but he's losing the ball way too much. It's almost like he's not getting the help he needs for the type of player he is
Well, I mean,
on
he
that
just
side.
came from Leeds where it was, pass the ball to each other and
Yeah.
a murder ball and everyone has it and it's somewhat direct, but it's a ton of pressing to come to this where it's fully direct. There's no one coming to your aid.
Yeah.
You basically have to pass it into spaces you hope a player can get to.
Yeah.
It's a very different style, and I think his instinct isn't for that.
Yeah.
There's
So,
no bad mouthing, Jack.
No,
Harrison
it's not
on the
even. It's
show.
not like he got an 8.5 rating. He didn't play poorly.
No, he crushed
It was just there were just many times where he has 2 or 3 defenders on him, and there's nobody really there to help him, like give him a passing option because they're so focused on defending. So but also
So more of this.
defensively, he's doing. He does the job that he needs to do. So I give him credit for that. But it's just there's certain things within the team where just like you see the heart there. That's the thing that makes me most proud. It's like they're playing for the badge. They're playing for those fans, and getting this result in this moment is just
It's huge.
look. Nobody expected it.
No.
Not a one. So
You ruined Klopp's goodbye.
okay. So that's a nice little send off for Jurgen
That was
Klopp.
the comedian group chat.
Ecstatic. They couldn't believe it. Somebody said, "Well, am I dreaming? Is this what dreams feel like?" Somebody literally said that. So shouts to those the blue in Merseyside because you saw it yourself. I dealt with a lot of stick being in Liverpool and being an Everton fan.
Even just from other Everton fans.
Yeah. But this is definitely a proud moment for the Toffees. All right, let's get to our convo with Shawn Francis. Again, absolute homie, and we're going to be talking a lot of MLS, a lot of American soccer with him because he's been around for a bit. So here goes. Here's our convo with Shawn Francis.
The illustrious guests just continued to come on this show.
That's it, bro. This is someone, again, we mentioned it up top, but someone it feels criminal that he hasn't been on the show yet. And finally,
You ain't somebody in American soccer until this person knows who you are.
if you haven't been
And
knighted,
after that, you still ain't somebody. You gotta work a little bit harder. But that's the beginning, though.
you stepped in the door. You got a toe in.
Now you kind of know.
Because for real, this is someone when we started out in 2015.
When we started out.
When we was someone we looked to of like, yo, who's done something anything even close to what we're doing.
And while the show that predated ours is a show called The Offside Rules. I hope I said that correctly. The Offside Rule?
You did.
Okay. And while it may not have begat, it was a direct correlation. The Venn diagram had a lot of in the middle. And in the middle is this episode, which has taken too long to do. Ladies and gentlemen, he's done everything in this game. He knows all the deep, dirty secrets, but he's not going to say it on this show. Maybe, but before we recorded, we got some stories. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Shawn Francis, everybody.
Shawn, what's up, brother?
Thank you for the recording claps.
Our studio audience, so Joe all went to the bathroom at the same time.
All 17 of them.
I love how every time we hit the button, they clap in unison the exact same way every single time.
But then it trails off and you hear more of them, which is great. My first question to you is, to see what we're doing and think back to your first episode of the Offsides Rule, tell me about what that setup was like. What was the world like? What year is it? Where is the league at the moment? Where is Messi at the moment? What's going on? Put everything in perspective for the audience.
Well, I mean, if you're referencing the Offside Rules podcast,
yes,
you got to back it up because you got to go to the blog first, right?
Ooh.
Oh, blog, ladies and gentlemen. For Gen Z listening, that is...
These were newspapers.
It's short for weblog, all right?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Boomers right now are just getting their ears itchy.
Okay.
Basically, it was like having your own diary or journal on a website.
Live journal.
Yeah, live journal.
Which I hear is coming back. I heard
Tumblr's going to come back.
Tumblr is coming back.
All right.
And that's
crazy.
Wild.
And what year was this? So when you're...
Yeah, I'll bring... Yeah, the year...
The blog.
Yeah, when we started the blog, man, I think that was probably around 2005, 2006. Yeah, we
Prime American soccer.
the big soccer era.
Yo, the jerseys were big and baggy.
Armpit from the jersey was so far away from your actual armpit. Now they were too close. They're too close.
The baggy era.
Yeah.
The baggy era.
But you said big soccer. That's not a euphemism.
No.
There was a website called Big Soccer, which was, imagine you took the toxicity of Reddit and the anger of a pub outside of, I don't know, an Everton football match. And you put that together.
With the need to be right that American soccer Twitter possesses.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All those three things
That's
in a blender.
Good cocktail.
And
that was Big Soccer.
An unholy union, man. It was but it was weird because Big Soccer was, in some ways, that was the lifeblood.
It was the most important
soccer
thing
in America. That's how you knew what was going on.
It was the Financial Times, if you will.
Yeah. It was the paper of record.
Yeah.
It was the absolute paper of record. There's so many people that to this day I don't know them by their government names, but I know them by their Big Soccer handle.
There's Dirty Pete 48.
Straight up.
That's my boy. The guy's now a pastor. It's like, chill with the Dirty Pete. I changed my life, man.
Not in front of my kids, bro.
My wife, no.
She don't know my past. Being the rowdiest Colorado Rapids supporter.
Oh, that's an achievement.
There's usually one or two.
We're looking at the website Big Soccer.
It didn't look like this
It
then.
didn't look like this.
No,
It's a little bit more. It's a little cleaner.
There was a lot of Web 2.0 graphics back then.
And they were famous for just not liking anyone or anything. This was like a big. I remember the Big Soccer. You had to pay for it at one point, so I could never really go into it.
Yeah, there was a point where it was free though, and it was, again, man, it was crucial. It was very necessary. But out of this world, blogs came a thing. Everybody started writing their own blogs, and like a lot of people now who were like, big dogs in American soccer journalism, people like Ives Galar said, that like Soccer by Ives that blog was like necessary reading. I checked that thing 5 times a day to find out, what the latest transfer rumor was, what the whatever was. But
and he used to be first on league
Everything.
news.
Yeah. And this is also before Twitter became a thing in 2008, 2009. That's when really people started getting on. So this is what's a necessary. This is how you exchange information, especially about soccer. You didn't have a platform where you could go to and share stories and stuff like that.
And there was no Golazo Network. There was nowhere to watch any news about soccer.
There was nothing. There was like Fox Soccer Channel.
Yeah, Fox. Dude, I remember the Fox Soccer Network.
Fox Soccer Network.
What was it? Football phone-in? Remember that?
Fox Football phone-in.
Yo.
Yeah.
People were so angry calling, hey, this is James from Kalamazoo. What's your favorite club? I hate you. Goodbye. That was a show on TV.
I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah. First time, last time. First time I'm calling, last time I'm calling. What was it was Eric Winalda, and who was the other guy? Do you remember?
We met it was the Irish guy, right? Or
was it? I can't remember.
We met him.
There are
remembering-
so many guys that they're still around today that were all part of that Fox Soccer Channel thing. Kyle Martino had a talk show. For
Yes.
a minute, short-lived talk show.
Oh my God.
Max Bretos was there. Christian Sullivan. I mean, so many of the guys that are still on the air now were there. It was a very Rob Stone.
Yeah, Rob
you know,
Stone. Dude,
like-
if you go back and watch it, it feels so like, like public access. It's crazy.
But that was it. Like that was what you could get. Podcasts weren't really a thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, Twitter wasn't really a thing yet. So it was
So
just
you
like,
started as a blog.
Yeah,
and
started
you
this
called
blog.
it the Offside Rules. And was your goal to be funny? Because that's the one thing I remember about you guys is two things. When we started the show, I was like, we want to be a little bit more hood than the average show. Like they don't really talk about the culture like we know it.
Yeah.
Like our side of the tracks, if you will. And also, there's no one's even trying to be funny. And if they are, they're not hitting that
No, they
note.
weren't.
But
Everyone's-
you guys had that little bit of a reverency.
Yeah, everybody was trying to be a reporter,
Yeah.
right? And some people, if you were Ives or Grant Wall or Stephen Goff, yeah, you were a proper reporter, and that's what you did. But there were a lot of guys who were like me in their basement,
Yeah.
blogging, writing these things that I want to be a reporter, and that's cool, whatever. My thing was like, what's the white space? What are people not doing?
Yes.
And if you looked at that blog era, the most popular blogs out there were things like TMZ and Perez Hilton, right? There was no one doing that. Everyone would talk about what the latest transfer rumors, though. I was talking about how ridiculous Beckham's latest haircut was.
Right.
So I just ran straight into that white space.
Yeah.
And it worked because it was
The
like
whole
there
thing was a white space when we got
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
just had
saying?
this conversation the other day.
You and
fam.
Kevin represented a very much of a different.
Yo.
And shouts to Ivis as well.
Yeah. But like Kevin and I, we joke about it because like we used to go to games and it was like we were the only black people that were on the field.
Yeah.
You know, like, there really wasn't a lot of brothers around. There were a lot of brothers around, and like I said this recently to someone at NMLS. You know, they've made a lot of improvements, a lot of efforts with their DE&I initiative stuff. And like I go in the office now, and again, it used to be me, Ollie Curtis, and one other person.
Yeah.
That was it. And like I walk in there now, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
what's up, Kurt? A lot of headlines. Like, all right, I see you playing.
Yeah, I must be in the wrong place.
Oh, you're on the right
Yeah.
floor. You got on the right
Yeah.
floor, man. Yeah, Kevin and I, and shout out to Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown is like a phantom now in American
Yeah,
soccer.
where is he, bro?
Kevin moved? He's back in it. He went to Miami for years.
That's right. He
I
did,
wanna
was
say
it the Football Gods?
Yeah, the football gods.
Yeah,
Maridi,
or
shout
soccer
out
gods?
Soccer gods.
Soccer Gods.
Shout out Kevin Brown and Maridi Maringi.
Yeah.
The soccer gods. But they were on I can't remember
Fusion?
Fusion, thank you.
Fusion Network.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Before
Boy,
it became
Giannis-
Boy, Giannis Papas
Giannis Papas
was
had the
on
morning
there.
show
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Didn't
and
Ariel
Ariel
Castillo
Castillo was
work
also
there?
Yeah,
on
that's
there.
where she got her
Levitard.
roots.
Levitard
Yeah.
was on Fusion for a
Well,
long
oh,
time.
What?
okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Look at the connection.
Bro,
Yeah.
who knew?
But yeah, Kevin went down there to Miami and kinda
But
did
bro,
that,
he
and then-
disappeared after that.
Yeah, you know what, man? Kevin got, and you know, I won't judge him.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
a little disillusioned with American soccer.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a little disillusioned.
Damn, he's
That
I-
little bit
I-
of big soccer
I think
still in
I
him.
think he's the only one, bro.
Yeah.
we all on board with
He's
everything.
up there. You'll see him at Gotham games. Go to
Yeah?
Gotham game. You'll find him at a Gotham game. You
All
won't
right.
find him at Red Bull games anymore, but you'll find him at Gotham games.
Bro, we need to come on. World Cup's about to be here. We need to have him on the show just to.
It's just a great.
Go full
get
circle.
the whole gang back together.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Always thought he hated us when we started.
No, God, no. He's just Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin's one of those dudes like, kind of like me, but in a different way. But Kevin was born 35 years old.
Yeah.
He's like a
I
curmudgeon.
totally see that.
Like he's a contrarian, but he's a beautiful contrarian.
Yeah.
He's like one of those smartest people, the most well-read people you'll know. But he always gives it with a little bit of Jersey attitude,
Yeah.
a little chip on his shoulder.
To give you the difference between Kevin, I don't think you've ever met Kevin Brown.
I maybe early on when we started. Maybe.
I think we might have met him briefly at the first NYCFC match because I think he was doing something for
Okay,
Fusion,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. But when I first met you, I'm like, oh my God, I'm Alexis from the Cooligans. You go, no, I know who you are. Yo, show seems fun, man. And we had a good conversation. When I met Kevin, I'm like, yo, you probably don't know who I am. I'm Alexis from the Cooligans. No, I know who you are. And then he walked away. And that I think, kind of gives you a good
That is
idea.
him 1,000%.
it gives you a good idea of the difference between the two of you and why maybe we foster a better
He hit
relationship.
you with the, I've seen what I needed to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy.
I have all the information I need. I'm good. I don't think this is gonna change my opinion.
Hilarious. Oh, well, it's fascinating to hear that start, but then you ended up working at MLS at some
Yeah.
point.
That lead.
So I mean, for us, we always, we taken like meetings at MLS, and we're early on we were trying to figure out like, well, what's gonna be, who are we in this space? Are we gonna be working for a league? Are we working for a club or something?
Who
like
are we in this space? We were like, who's gonna give us
Who's
money?
gonna pay
got a
us to
check
do
for
this?
me?
Yes.
I mean,
Who's gonna let me pay rent?
That's the ultimate question. If you were creating soccer content in America, it's like, can someone pay me? 'Cause there seems to be this weird thing. I'm sure you guys have run into that, where it's like, oh, you guys like soccer, you should work for free.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exposure.
Exposure.
Yeah.
No, if exposure was money, son.
Dude, this goes back to like 2016, maybe 2017-ish. I saw you, and this was maybe when we were drinking the
drinking Wayne Gretzky's
Gretzky's whiskey. And we finished the bottle, might I add.
We did.
At one point, a couple sips in, Shawn looks at me and goes, so how's the show going? You guys making money yet? I was just like, this is perfect. And you didn't say it as, are you guys good enough to make money? You understood the fight we were trying to fight. This is it! Oh my God.
There it is, Wayne
Oh
Gretzky's
my
whiskey,
God.
number 99.
Yes.
Ooh, this is the red
This
cast.
was
This
in
looks
Toronto, and you
like
pulled up.
2014, 15?
No.
No.
We started 2015, so this must be 2017,
It's 17,
2018.
18. Yeah, 17, I think.
And you were like, oh, what are you doing afterwards? I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, you like whiskey? I said, yeah, I love it. Yo, come back to the room. A bunch of us are going to be hanging out.
Yes, now I remember this.
Yes.
I
He goes-
got a suite for no reason.
Yes, that's what
I
it
got
was.
a suite for
You had
no
a living
reason.
room for no reason.
No
I
reason
thought,
at all.
oh my God, this kid balling, bro. Me and you are like in an Airbnb that has like an air mattress that we're sharing, and you got a suite. We
we
made
had
our cameraman sleep on a couch. We couldn't afford anything. That's right, Zito,
Zito, Ariel was there.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Shout
I
out
remember
Zito
this.
Madu. Shout
And he
out
was
Ariel
like, yo, I got
Castillo.
this special bottle of whiskey. We're popping it and drinking it tonight. Perfect. He pulls out the bag. I forgot. We gave it a nickname. Like, we gave it the 2 hockey sticks or something. It was like a nickname. And I'm like, where the hell did he find Wayne Gretzky? Well, we're in Canada. This makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can find a Wayne Gretzky anything in Canada.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good
I mean,
point.
he's licensed himself to toilet paper,
Yes.
to Dixie
Yeah,
cups.
sure.
There's probably a Wayne Gretzky number 99 microphone. I don't know.
Get that money, bro.
Yeah. But the
But
whiskey's high.
So the transition from just how did you get from doing this blog and doing this podcast to then working at MLS? Like, how was
Yeah.
that? How were the interviews? Were they even like open to what you were like your experience or skill in the space?
Yeah, it was interesting, man, because my background, I was in the music industry. So I had worked at a bunch of, I mean, even going back to like college, I had interned at all these labels. I was a DJ.
Music, soccer.
Yeah.
Damn, you didn't want to make any money, huh?
No, I know. I wanted
He's
to
like-
have a good time.
He's like, I owned a couple of Blockbusters.
It's gonna hit, honey.
Yeah.
It's gonna hit.
It's cyclical.
Ignore this Netflix garbage.
Nah, bro. Government's going to shut it down, dude.
It was the TikTok of its day.
Yeah,
The government shut it down, yeah. But yeah, I had done some consulting work for MLS, and then I got laid off at MTV because that's what Viacom does
Yeah.
very, very regularly. And I was coming into the city for an interview with Red Bull, not Red Bull in New York, but Red Bull, the
brand.
drink.
Drink,
Yeah.
yeah.
Train pulls into, I get on the platform at 42nd Street to head downtown. Train pulls up, door opens, and it's my buddy Chris Schlosser, who's been at MLS forever. And he looks at me, and I just go, he doesn't say hello. He just looks at me and goes, hey, man, I heard you're not working. We should talk. And I'm like, well, hi, Chris. How are you? Why you got to go there? He's like, no, I didn't mean like that, but we got this new project. I was like, okay, cool. I come, talk to him. He's like, we're bringing the website in-house. We're going to start this new website. Cool. He's like, you should meet Don. I'm like, the commissioner? Why? He's like, oh, he reads your blog. I'm like, he doesn't read my blog. He's like, oh, no, dude, he reads your blog. He brings it up in meetings. And at that point, I was like, that's crazy, because I didn't know if, like, my mom would even read my blog. You know what I mean? So I go and I meet Don Garber, and I meet Mark Abbott, and we just talk about all the stuff, all the things they want to do. And at the time, the league was, they're really trying to branch out and do something different. Because believe it or not, in the early days, they didn't run their own website fully. It was run by a company called Sports on Earth, which is owned by Major League Baseball. So think about that. At its core, you've got Pepsi running Coke's website,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
There's only so,
Yeah.
It's weird, right? It's weird. So they were
Yeah, it's down again. I don't know why.
yeah. So brought it in house, and that was part of the whole thing. So we just wanted to make it more personality driven, more just really reflective of like what American soccer culture was. And so we brought in myself, Simon Borg, Nick Perchow, Matt Doyle, Jonah Friedman, and Greg Lawless were our managing editor and editor-in-chief, and we just kind of brought in like a super friends of American soccer like writers and stuff, and we just kind of
The best of the best from BigSoccer.com.
yeah, it was your big soccer fantasy team. But social media was a new thing at that time, and they were kind of like, oh, you had some experience with social media. Can you just run this till we get someone more junior? And I was like, yeah, we never got any more junior. I happen to be good at it, I guess. Because
So you were the intern that ran the socials?
Yeah.
That's always an
Yeah.
intern.
You were the admin?
yeah, the biggest. I was the admin for a long time, and I started doing this thing called MLS Insider, which at the time it seemed like it was different. Now everyone does it, right? The behind the scenes stuff, but no one was doing that at the time, and I think it was pretty crucial for MLS because we didn't really know anything about the players back then. You didn't really know anything about the clubs back then. You saw
The league wanted it that way too. I think it was Bobby Boswell. He started a YouTube channel and he was just showing his personality, how funny. And the league was like, "You need to stop that right now.
Right, yeah.
How dare you show
He
your
was like-
personality? We're here to play soccer."
He was
Bobby
like,
Boswell's blog, like low key, man. That was like, I think that was the way forward. And he worked with a guy named Kyle Sheldon, who was a PR guy at DC, and he's been in a bunch of places.
Yeah,
yeah,
we know Kyle
he
Sheldon,
follows
yeah.
us. I feel like
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
interacted
he
with
has
him,
an
yeah.
agency now called Name and Number, who
Yes,
does some
yes,
really
yes.
great work. But him and Bobby, that was like something they cooked up, and it was great because he was like the only guy that got it at the time. That
Yeah.
people want personalities. They want to see this stuff. They want to know all the different things that you're doing, and they were kind of ahead of their time on that. But those days it was the Wild West. There were no rules yet on
No.
social media.
That was also back
The
then
rules
when
not get fired, basically. But
MLS Transfers was a website that I used to go on when I was trying to learn more about the league. And some of the names linked with these clubs, you've never heard of people, their own team they were coming from had never heard of this player. It was some of the names that they'd be like, I'm like, bro, you're making this up.
that's not a real person.
Yeah, bro, like Transfer Market ain't got this guy on it.
Yeah,
It was
no.
crazy. What a Wild West time.
Yeah, it's just it's funny, you just even hearing all those names, especially names like Simon Borg and Greg Lawless, who started Extra Time. Were you there when Extra Time started?
Him and Shep Messing used to do that Extra Time show.
Yeah.
It was a video show, and then we kind of morphed it into the Extra Time podcast, and kind of everybody in the office kind of contributed. I was the last person to contribute. I contributed the least to that podcast because they're all very X's and O's guys, and they can really talk. I've never been able to like break down the game like that.
Yeah.
I want to.
You're
talk
more
about,
X's and hoes.
Yeah. Who was he dating?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Straight up. I want all that.
That's
So-
such a great name for a goddamn
Yeah,
show.
that's
I
a
can't
great-
believe I said this on air.
You just gave away the
That
sauce.
is what a bag I just
That is
dropped. I just fumbled
Kids,
a massive bag.
If you're watching, go start a podcast that focuses on wags
Yo, and
with
you-
that name.
you
I'm not going to
done.
repeat that name, but that's you.
Bro, I might do a show with a telestrator called X's and Hoes.
And that might
it's
be
just
the
about
one that
where
makes
they,
money.
where they go out to eat. Bro, what a good idea. Now it's mine.
So no, it is a you look at the inception of a lot of these shows that a lot of people are. It's part of their routine now, but it's interesting just to hear like it didn't exist just a couple years ago, and
This is not that long ago.
right, and with American soccer, there is even for us, we've been doing the show long enough that now I sort of feel like this weird American soccer historian. Like we have this body of work. And there's history to it, and there's stories, and when Alexis almost got arrested at LAFC Stadium for taking a shit, like stuff like that, where like
Culture.
it becomes part,
It
becomes part of American soccer lore,
The lexicon, if you will. Yeah.
the Alexicon.
Oh,
Yeah,
lexicon, X's and Hoes.
just giving away
Bro,
gems today.
Your idea, guys.
This is a
man.
marketing meeting, and we didn't even plan it, dog.
Bro, I think we're just trying to impress you.
So this is now become a press conference to announce the Cooligans is now an agency because everybody's an agency now.
We really should have become
But
an
that's
agency at some
do
point.
you sort of see yourself in that way to some degree of just like wow, like after all this body of work, you've been a huge contributor to what the American soccer looks like nowadays.
I'll never say huge contributor. I'll say a contributor.
Okay.
I won't give it size because I feel like I don't want to get egotistical about it. But I feel like I've put in my time.
You've
Right.
not lived in New Jersey long enough. If you were born there, you've been like, of course I am.
Yeah.
I deserve
still got
all the
some
plaudits.
Texan humbleness about me, but no, man. I feel like there's a lot of folks, man, that just put in. It's time, man. To me, that's the thing. I met with this kid the other day. Super smart kid, really enthusiastic about soccer. He's trying to get in the game, in the business side of it, and he's like throwing all these ideas at me, and I'm like, those are pretty good ideas. And he's like, which one do you think's the best? And I'm like, the one that lasts the longest. Because, like, time is the ultimate weapon, right? Like,
Oof.
there are people out there who
Dimes.
have...
Dimes being dropped here.
I stole that from Amazon's hit series Fallout. But,
Bro, stop saying that.
but it's
Get
true.
this
No, I get all
money.
my references. I work in pop culture, man. That's
Yeah.
where all my references. But it's true, man. Like, if you can... You don't have to be the first sometime. You don't have to be the best sometime. But if you're the one that lasts the longest, I'm sure there's colas out there probably better than Coke.
Yeah.
But Coke has just been there for...
That's also great
forever,
advice
you
for
know?
someone trying to get into porn. A male in particular. You just got to last the longest.
Right. Okay. Yes, the endurance part.
Not bad, right? I'll tell you where I got that from later.
Hi, kids.
They know what they got into
So,
when they click play.
Are there any moments or pieces of work that you have made that make you the most, like, give you the most pride in those contributions?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing I'm most proud of is recently I got to do the creative direction on the asset to announce that the World Cup final was coming to New Jersey. New Jersey, not New York.
New York, New Jersey.
New York height is like New Jersey. Come on now.
So you knew?
Mayor Adams
Did
was
you
involved.
know that you already knew that the final was going to be there, and you had to?
No, that was the thing, man. I didn't know it was the final, but I knew that the host committee, they were like, whether we get the final or not, we want to create something because we're in New York.
Of course.
We ain't just going to go out the door with whatever we get given. We want something special, whatever. So it kind of made a couple of versions.
Yeah.
But all that's inside baseball. The fact that I'm not from Jersey, but I've been there 20 years. It's home. That's where I raised my kids. Jersey's been very good to me. I'm not a native, but I've lived amongst the people long enough to adopt their folk ways and things like that. So
There is a specific culture to it.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
wearing.
yeah.
You're,
So
you're also wearing the Asbury Park Football Club, which you are the creator.
I'm
Of
owner.
the Tillies?
The Tillies.
Yeah.
Biggest
So,
team you've never heard of.
exactly. A lot of people know about Asbury Park Football Club, and I think a lot of people a lot of people did what you did, right? A lot of people created sort of football clubs afterwards.
Yeah, I mean that's something. Okay, here we go. Ego.
Go ahead. Go
One thing
ahead.
I am proud of. 'cause
Go
I can-
ahead. Talk your shit.
But I'll give credit. Ben Hooper, my boy Ben Hooper, talk about an OG of American soccer culture, original winger, bumpy pitch.
Yep.
He said Asbury Park Football Club invented a genre, and not many people can say that. And I feel like it did invent a genre. Whether you hate the fake football club thing or not, the Asbury Park Football Club is the
first.
the blueprint for that.
Yeah.
There's been
The
a
Godfather.
1,000 other people
Yeah.
like do it.
But there is that era in which you started that. There was this hope for a big future in the sport. Probably not even as big as what it is right now, but there was a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? A sort of groundswell of creativity.
Yeah.
And I don't think I see that anymore. I think the creativity now, there's like actual money behind it, so the creativity is more creative, if you will, like brand creative.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can rattle off 10 different amazing photographers right now that put out photography that 10 years ago you did not see anywhere, right? And every kit release now, I don't say all of them look the same, but boy,
It's a
8
lot
out of 10.
There's a lot of Amelie Andor influence.
Yeah, maybe Andorra
Yeah.
is like the I don't know, like they probably have no idea, right? But they have created this whole sort of genre of soccer kit releases
Yeah.
that just ape what they do. There's a lot of that out there, but I don't know, man. It's one of those things where like that era, there was some creativity out there, but what I think was really key is like there was so much in America, at least. There was so much hope and enthusiasm behind the national team. The U.S. national team in that moment was a golden era of talent, you know. And I think about Michael Bradley, Clint Dempsey, Landon Donovan, Tim Howard, Jermaine Jones, Fabian, who I just, I'm sorry, never gets his due.
Yeah.
I love him, Josie. But there was such a good feeling before the tragic events of the 2018 World Cup, right?
Yeah.
But there was such a positivity that we were just on the way up, that there was a cultural trickle down in soccer. And you talk about things I enjoyed. I tell you, when I went to the agency world, my first thing was working on Nike Soccer. And this was wild because the agency I was working for, it was their first social media client. You think about that. Your first social media client is Nike. Crazy. But it was the Wild West of social media back then.
Hey, guys, we got a new client.
Yeah.
The biggest brand you've ever heard of.
Yeah, you could kind of do anything, right? And Nike's one of those companies that they just want to do different. They just want to do different. They just want to do better. But we sold them on this thing of it was the lead up to the 2014 World Cup. And we're like, let's embed with the team for the Hex, for the whole year of qualifying. I think they played something like 18 games between the qualifiers and the friendlies. 18 games. And me and cameraman and a couple of guys in my crew, we rode with them for 13 of those 18 games.
Wow.
Police escorts through Mexico City, riding the team plane into Jamaica, the snow game in Colorado.
Wow.
And that was a high, not only maybe a career high, but just as the soccer lover in me, that was incredible. Remember when there was the article that came out? I think Brian Strauss wrote that article in Sporting News after they lost the first qualifier down in Honduras, I believe it was, that Jurgen had lost the team.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, big soccer was melting down that day, right.
Because this was their guy. They
all
all wanted the European.
Yeah, and they got him. And this article comes out about how it's a disaster and he's lost the team. The German guys aren't talking to the American guys and da-da-da-da-da-da. That article comes out while they're at practice in Denver the day before that snow game against Costa Rica. I'm flying in, get my bag at baggage claim, turn my phone on. I got 50 messages. Yo, did you read this article? Yo, did you read this article? I'm like, what is this article? So I start reading this article. I'm waiting for a rental car, and I'm like, oh, God, this is crazy. This is buck wild. Get to practice. Benefit of being with Nike, closed-door practices.
Yeah.
We got in. We had access.
Yeah.
We were documenting everything. They're doing the practice, and when they're coming off the field, it's like a morgue. It was a weird thing. Because usually, the guys would come off the field, they're tired or whatever, but they're joking with each other, hitting each other with a boot or making little jokes, might squirt water. None of that. It was you ever get a bad grade on your report card, and you're in trouble when you get home?
Yeah, of course.
So you kind of got a different demeanor about it?
I kind of remember getting a good grade
It
more
felt
than I
like
remember
that.
getting a bad grade because it happened once.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was whatever. Whatever. That's, it's not my business. That's the team business. But it definitely, you could feel Paul in the air. Go back to the hotel. We're the Ritz-Carlton in Denver, nicest hotel I've ever stayed at in my life. At this point, I'm like, why am I here? But Nike that night was presenting to the team their team apparel that they make just for the team for the World Cup. And we're all in this meeting room in the hotel, and they're presenting it or whatever. And it's cool. All right, Jurgen stands up. It's all right, thank you guys. Goes, if everybody could leave, that's not with the team. We need to have a team meeting. So we're like, that's us. We're out. And then he says, no, everybody, players and coaches only. So even the marketing people and PR people, everybody else who's with U.S. Soccer, leave the room.
Oof.
And they have all right, this article came out. We read it. Let's talk about it. Y'all married, man. Sometimes you just got to all right, let's just do this. We're going to do this. It sucks. We've got to rip the Band-Aid off. And they go in this room, and they're in there for, I don't know, hour and a half. And they have everybody says what needs to be said or whatever. Next day, go to the game. Snow comes down. They beat Costa Rica in the snow. It's great.
Yeah.
Everything
Nothing
was great.
happened, bro.
No, they went there. They aired it out. Everybody talked their shit. Said what had to be said. And they went on a tear. They went on a tear qualifying. And that was funny because we were snowed in now.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Mexico City the next day. So we ended up staying an extra day in Denver. And Chris Tucker was doing stand-up around the corner. So they used to do these pepper rallies.
Great.
No, this is great. This is
What random?
No. So they used to do these pep rallies before the qualifier games.
Yeah.
To get I say pep rally, but it's a fan rally. You get all the AO guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have music. They'd have some of the players on stage talking, get everybody fired up. Alan Hopkins would host. They were great. So the theater they had that pregame pep rally in, 2 days later, was having Chris Tucker. So we're hanging out after the game, and Hopkins is like, I'm gonna call the theater and see if I can get his tickets for Chris Tucker. And he does. So me, Hopkins, Ivis, somebody else would go, and we go see Chris Tucker, and it's hilarious. But we're up in the balcony. to paint the picture for you, this is March. In January, Colorado has just legalized weed. And you've got the star of Friday on stage. This whole, there was no, you couldn't see shit.
Of course not.
It was so smoked out.
It was like a Bundesliga match of smoke.
I was like, is there Tifo about to drop?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? And
Bro.
everybody was just, like, the whole theater, it's just like 1,500 high people just yelling lines.
Friday. Yeah. Guy's trying to do his act.
Yeah, like literally. He says, "Can I just do my act?"
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
But,
like
oh my
with Chappelle, when he was Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Oh,
He
yeah.
couldn't do stand-up for like 3 years because of it.
Oh my
I ever tell you
God.
about the time when we saw Mickey Free in the Fort Lauderdale airport
No.
leaving the MLS Combine?
Wait, I don't know who Mickey Free is. Who's Mickey
Y'all
Free?
know Mickey Free is?
That wasn't he the musician?
Yeah, he was one
Yeah.
of the skit, the Rick James, in one of those Rick James.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
story.
Charlie
Okay.
Murphy's
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And he's talking about Shalimar had a new girl. But that girl wasn't the girl, that was the dude. It was Mickey Free.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how in LA, like, whoever looked the most feminine and had the most blousey got the
Yeah,
most women.
yeah.
Like, we saw that dude.
Why was he coming out of MLS Combine?
Well, we were leaving Fort Lauderdale for the Combine. It was
Yeah.
me and a bunch of MLS.com people. And he is like, so he's Seminole Indian.
Uh-huh.
He's Black Seminole, what we have down in Florida. And so he's like the president of like the tribe's gaming commission. They have that huge Hard Rock casino.
That's right.
He's like the guy, but he's also a musician.
What a change of job.
Yeah.
Random.
Random.
I want to know, because you've had this career for so long. Give us, because I think everyone has a moment. What's one moment where you thought, I don't think there's going to be MLS or an American soccer moving forward? I know there's probably a couple, but is there a moment in your career where you're like, I don't know if we can recover from this as an industry?
In my career, no. But before, absolutely. When I think of like the early 2000s, like I started going to MLS back in Dallas in college. And I would go see the Dallas Burn back at the old Cotton Bowl.
It was a horse whose legs were lightning bolts.
But he breathes fire.
And he breathed fire.
The most mythical of mythical creatures.
This was, who drew this? It was a
That's who you should get on the
horse.
show, man. Is
The
people
artist?
who came in with the OG
What are we, Pablo
MLS.
Mars podcast?
Yeah, yeah.
Look at it. It is a
Fire-breathing, lightning-legged horse.
and it's bad. The legs on the front legs are just not that well
Are they
done.
lightning bolts or is he like a peg leg? Is this like a...
Yeah, maybe
differently
it's
abled horse?
fractured peg legs. But
he
yeah,
been in an
lightning
accident?
bolt legs
Yeah.
and a
But
fire breathing. But yeah, so this
if
is
you
what
go
you
to-
would go see.
Yeah, and
it
if
looks
that's-
like an indoor team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was so 90s. All those
Yeah.
original logos were just so 90s, man. But if you went to any games back then, like you go to the Cotton Bowl in July, Dallas, Texas,
Oof.
it's hot. I mean, it's 100 degrees.
Burn is because you got sunburn.
Yeah, yeah,
why-
exactly. They should have been sponsored by like Banana Boat or something. I don't know.
Or a local dermatologist.
Yeah. But if you went to any of those games, you would be concerned
Yeah?
about the future because it's an 80,000 seat stadium and there are 6,000 people in there rattling around. There's nobody there.
So where were you when you found out Lionel Messi is going to play in this league?
Oh man, where was I? I was at home. I remember, actually, I do remember because I was on a call with somebody and I desperately wanted to get off the Zoom I was on because like my phone was like blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, did you see Messi? Did you see Messi? And I'm like, I want to talk about this. I want to be on Twitter right now, you know? But I'm like, yeah.
Yes, I think we can do that for you, Nike. And meanwhile, the world is opening
But the
up.
Messi one, I feel like we kind of saw it coming. Like
Yeah.
there was a little bit of, there was some smoke before that in the couple days before. The Beckham one I thought was bigger. That was like a left field because again, we didn't have Twitter. We didn't have all these podcasts. There weren't all these different outlets to talk about soccer. So when Beckham came out in a full page, I still have it in my basement in like a Ziploc, full page ad in the New York Times that Beckham is coming to America. That was like a holy shit. Like this is actually happening. That came out of left field, I think, for everybody. You know?
Really?
Yeah. And
No one had the scoop on that at all, right?
all right, I'm gonna tell you something.
Ooh.
I knew about it allegedly. I knew Nick Sakavich, the much maligned former GM of the Metro Stars. Every once in a while, he would take some of the supporters out to lunch before a game. And I went one. It was me and like 5 or 6 other guys. And he told us, and he had a reputation for saying a lot of things that never came to pass. So we were all very jaded fans. Like, I don't believe, but he said, Ronaldo, OG Ronaldo, is going to go to New York and Beckham's going to go to L.A. And we're like, okay, this is maybe him just talking pie in the sky, whatever. 9-10 months later, it came to pass, and I was like, wow, okay, maybe I should give him a pass and not be so harsh on
I can't
it.
wait till R9 shows up in a Metro Star.
Which never happened because as is Metro,
Also, as is his knee.
God, can you imagine that guy on turf? That would have been.
Oof.
I shouldn't say it, but I mean, look at Suarez, man. I mean, Suarez, like.
Hey, I stopped saying that after Chiellini. I'm like, ain't no way he gonna be able to keep up with this league.
Chiellini was.
He was good.
He held his own.
Chiellini was good. You're the one that disappointed me, though. Your man's Pirlo. And I'm gonna say this on record.
Let that man have his vacation.
I loved Andrea Pirlo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved watching that man play. And then he came over here, and I was
And
like,
you didn't get the chance to see him play.
yeah. It was like, when you gonna really start? Like, when
Yeah.
you gonna really start? But
Look, we were disappointed as well. I mean, it was a. I think the moment that when he scored his first free kick,
His only goal.
his only
goal.
His only goal.
Was it his only
He
goal?
got one.
When he scored it, like 2 years after he signed or something like that, I was just like, why is he here? Like,
You couldn't even celebrate
but
it.
it didn't hit me until that moment because I was just like, yo, we have Pirlo on our team. This is incredible. And then he scored that goal, and I was like, are we a serious team? Like, are we serious about trying to do? Because it was remarkable. But again, it was like the strategy back then. Was just to get butts and seats for NYCFC. But now that they have the stadium announcement, it's another big milestone for American soccer.
New York has been a thing, right? It's no secret. New York should be the biggest market in MLS, but it's probably the toughest market to crack, right? And it's always weird, right? Because people in New York, we kind of think that we're the center of the universe. And how the hell are there 30,000 people in Nashville going to a soccer game, but we don't have the same thing here? And it's hard to kind of rectify and make sense of that sometimes. But I think that stadium is going to be a bit of a game changer. Like, if you think of Red Bull and Giant Stadium versus Red Bull Arena, it's not sold out every week, but it's definitely a markedly different experience. Much more enjoyable experience. I think this thing out in Queens, though, I think that I see that, that's going to be packed every week. I think that raises the profile of the league and the city. Obviously, the question is, will it be enough to raise the profile of the league nationally? Not that they should have to bear that burden themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's always the burden on New York being.
That's the thing. If you're in New York,
epicenter.
you gotta be the standard bearer for whatever your organization is, nationally, globally.
So I think one of the things that I love about this podcast now is that we get to bring people in and give them their flowers. And what we said in the beginning is I think is absolutely true about you. You are someone who carried the torch for the sport, at least in the world that we like. You know what I mean? In the demographic that we cared about, from the viewpoint that we cared about when we started, and to see you still being in the game and being on the agency side and the media side is absolutely incredible. But because you have seen the league for so long, I need a hot take. What do you see for the future of the sport in America?
Honestly, man,
Like a big hot take.
it's not even that hot. Okay, I'll give you two takes. One, I think the women's game right now is on a rocket ship, man.
Yep.
Like 100%. You go to Gotham games, man, it feels, I'm not saying it's better or worse, but there's a different vibe at a Gotham game than at a Red Bulls game. There's something that feels, the obvious thing, right? It feels more feminine. It feels like less a bunch of dudes doing dude things. It feels very stylish. Like, I'm always seeing people, I'm like, yo, I mess with your outfit.
People come fitted out, dripped out.
It's funny. It's not like, you go to men's sports game and everyone's like, right, I'm just wearing the jersey and the hat. I'm putting as many pieces of, I want this logo on my body as many places as I can have, right? And you don't get that vibe there. But I think the women's game is on a rocket ship, and it's I think our society, hopefully, thankfully, is kind of in this place where we realize, I can have more soccer. If I get over my ingrained sexism and all these things, I can have more soccer. Yes, please.
Yeah.
That thing, I think, is interesting. My hot take, is honestly, I think the U.S. team right now has the potential to be better than the team I said is the golden era.
Sure.
That is a hot take.
I know, because a lot of people, I know, but if you look at it, man, on a real superficial level, you can pick a starting 11 right now that almost all 11 are playing it. You can do start 11, all 11 are playing in Europe, and they're not playing at some team in the Netherlands. They're not playing at some 15th ranked team in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
You've got guys at Juve. You've got guys at Inter. You've got guys at Chelsea. Like guys who are playing and can maintain at a top level team in Europe are turning out for this national team, and not just 2 or 3. There's like a solid 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, in this Copa America, I hope is a real preview. I know we got a couple injury things like Dest and the goalkeeper.
Huge loss.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. The thing I really worry about, though, is the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah.
no,
We've never been this
goalkeepers are
weak.
not
That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Because that's always been our,
Our strength.
yeah, don't even question it. Like, that ain't even been a thing.
Right.
Like, we always had... We have goalkeeper controversies like in the NFL. You have quarterback controversies.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Going back to days of like Brad Friedel and Casey Keller. Right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like both of those guys were dope. Oh, and you still got Marcus Hannigan as a third. Like great, But now it's like,
Yeah. Well, let's get that 18-year-old in.
yeah. Like, who's gonna do this?
All right, I like it. As far as giving your flowers, bro. It's just you. Even for us, laid down at least somewhat of a path, just some of a guideline of like how to operate the space, especially as minorities, as people, even also coming from the comedy world. It's just like we didn't know anything, we didn't know anybody, and just like Alexis assumes like Kevin Brown just doesn't like him. That's for the first few years we're just like nobody likes us. Nobody likes us. I have no idea.
Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking to us.
I don't know who Kevin Brown likes.
Yeah.
There's that, but no, man, you guys seriously like what you guys are doing. I think is vital, and I'll give you all y'all's flowers back because it's like nothing gets popular unless it's enjoyable, right? People want to enjoy something. And what you guys do is you provide some levity and some laughter. That's a counter to that sort of I'm right, you're wrong. This is how American soccer should be that you see on Twitter.
We come into it as we're both wrong.
We are so wrong.
It's just so much more enjoyable that way.
People are different, man. People
Yeah.
are different. When I think of players, I'll go into one last story.
Yeah.
I think of players, man. I think of personalities of players. I think of Clint Dempsey, and Clint Dempsey in his era.
I'm from, dog.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that
My
Clint.
Texas brethren.
Yeah, who put out a rap record
He did.
via Nike.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? That was different. We didn't know anything about American soccer players and who they are and their personalities on field. We didn't really know much about. But him, it was like not only did we get to know him, and then what we got to know was so different than what people expect. We were down in Jamaica one time, national team practice in Trenchtown. It's hectic. It's hectic. I ain't gonna lie, right? It's hectic. We got a police escort. When I tell you, the police is like. It's like 4 brothers that look like they just came out the Pele Pele store. Yeah. with a penne on that says police, but like 2 letters have peeled off.
Yeah.
And they got like an M16 and they're rolling.
The gun is how you know.
Yeah.
It's the only real
Big
defining
giveaway,
fact.
the gun.
Like a Yankees hat,
Yeah.
some Timbs, jeans, a polo, this penne that says police, and a machine gun. There's like 4 of these guys. I'll show you a picture when we get off the air. That's like our police escort, and we were practicing at the Stadium for Arnett Gardens, one of the club teams in Jamaica, middle of Trenchtown. It's like hood, bro. Locals are just like walking into the stadium, just climbing over the fence, just coming in, like whatever. We roll up in the bus, and the players have their own bus, and then all us hangers-on are kind of in another bus. And we got police there, but they're not keeping anybody away from the buses. People are just standing there, just like waiting to watch people come off the bus. At the time, Clint is playing at Tottenham. For reasons I don't know, Tottenham is one of the more popular clubs in Jamaica. I think because it's North London.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jamaicans in North London.
The back. But Tottenham is like one of the clubs. Clint comes off the bus, and everybody's come off the bus. Nobody's saying Michael Bradley. He's at, I think, Aston Villa at the time. Nobody says anything. Tim Howard's at Everton at the time. Nobody says anything. Clint Dempsey walks off the bus. Clint Dempsey, bad man, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Just like what? If you know Clint messes with a lot of black folks.
Clint gets a pass.
Yeah.
He gets a Latino pass. He gets a black pass. He gets a pass.
But like they were just bigging him up.
And he's just like, what up,
Clint
playboy?
Dempsey, And he does a smile on his face. And everybody else, everybody's laughing. It was like, okay.
Landon Donovan is just grinding his teeth, and no one knows who he is.
Yeah, it was just so. But again, like, when you have a unique personality like he is,
Uh-huh.
and crucially, when your personality off the field and on the field, they match.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that guy. You know what I mean? Like he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He
Yeah.
is confident. He is unafraid to say what's what. You know, his show on Golasso with Mo and everybody
Yeah,
else, like
kicking it.
Yeah.
kicking it, man. Like like people love that. You know,
Yeah.
and I think the more players in American soccer, whether that's clubs, leagues, whatever, embrace that like people want to see the personality, they want to see who these people are. The more we do that, the more success there's going to be. The more there's people like you who do things that are authentic and genuine, where it's like this is y'all just being y'all's funny,
Thank
ridiculous.
you. I love. Yeah, I mean,
Our dumb selves.
well, so I mean, the Cooligans are the Clint Dempsey of American
Yeah.
soccer. I love
That's a
that. I love
bold-
And
it.
you don't know where we're from, dog.
Yeah, you from Newark.
Yeah, all right, no, you do know where I'm from. Yeah,
Which is scarier?
it's
know-
the Nacogdoches
The Nacogdoches of North Jersey.
yeah, of Jersey. Yeah.
Shawn Francis, bro, thank you so much for coming through, taking the time. I can only say
Thanks for having me.
we are all sorry for it taking this long for you to finally have joined us on the
a
show.
shame on the
But you're
show.
welcome anytime.
Yes.
You're absolutely full of incredible stories. I know a lot of.
We could have talked to him for like another 4
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. And our
Let's do a
audience,
Christmas special.
Oh, let's go. Let's do a Wayne Gretzky, a whiskey special.
Oh, we should do a whiskey special.
A little dark liquor episode.
Okay, well, I'm gonna last
Round
6
like
minutes
that.
on that episode.
Oh, that's when the fun starts. When the guy who keeps time goes to bed.
But Shawn, thank you so much. Everybody, go follow Shawn Francis on Twitter or on Instagram at the Offside Rules.
And check out his Tumblr.
Go
I got a Tumblr.
support.
I never had one when they were in.
My man is still doing a bunch of great work in American soccer. So go out and support, man. Shawn Francis, thank you so much for joining us. As always, make sure you follow us at Soccer Cooligans on all socials, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Before it's banned completely. So do what you got to do. And subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/soccercooligans. We got a dope community on there. And shout out to everybody watching on DraftKings Network as well. All right, everybody. Oh, just one more thing. Our producer, Miguelito, today's his last day in studio.
What?
He's not leaving. He's not leaving
No.
us.
I'm not leaving. I'm staying here, whether you like it or not.
But
He
he
will
is-
be like AI. He's going to be here virtually.
AI Mike, he's going to, he's moving to Miami
Taking
to
his talents to South Beach.
Yeah, you know,
helping out with the big show a little more.
exactly. So Lebatard show. He's gonna go watch. He wants to watch the Heat lose at home.
Hey.
When is your testimonial?
So this is his last episode in studio.
I'll be back.
He'll
I'll
be
be
back,
coming back.
back
Yeah,
and
I'll be
forth.
coming
He's
back.
a New Yorker, tried and true. It's all good.
I'll be back and forth. You won't be here.
Wait till he sees how they drive down there. He'll be back.
Yeah,
So
I'll try the pizza. I'll be back.
But you'll still
Facts.
hear him on the show.
That's
He'll,
facts.
he'll be producing remotely, but yeah, we're obviously gonna miss seeing his face and him sitting in that seat. But obviously happy that we still get to work together.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
all right, everybody. So we'll see you next week on Monday. Another fun episode. Again, shout out to Shawn Francis. See you in a couple days, everybody. Peace.
Love you guys.